Well, hello and welcome to Coffee with Karma, take two, hopefully this time with sound. I had it going through my Crisp uh, noise cancellation thing, and apparently Crisp had turned itself off. Isn't that nice? So here we go. This is an empty cup. I just use it as a prop because I only drink it in the morning, and it is now noon. Good afternoon, everyone. And what I was saying earlier is I figured out the whole balloon thing. Apparently, see, I got a new computer yesterday. I got a brand new Mac, not yesterday, last week. The last week of December. I got a brand new computer because my old computer was dying. It was like overheating and the video was going so I had to get a new one whether I liked it or not. And this new one comes with automatic reactions when you're live. Which are now turned off, so I can't even whatever. Well, I showed you in my silent video, I can do all sorts of reactions, but I try to turn them off because I don't want I go like this, and then balloons go up, and I'm like, "What the heck?" So, that was very distracting, and that's taken care of. So, today, I am going to talk about 5 techniques for self-editing, and hopefully you will find these of use. I want to start off with a caveat. Do not capital Not, do not depend on self-editing alone for your book. Always, always, each and every time, always hire somebody professional to edit your work, even if you go through the self-editing process. In my mind, the self-editing process is a way to save you money on that professional editor because you are giving them the cleanest copy possible so that they don't spend so much time cleaning up your messy copy. So here are 5 things that you can do to be a more effective self-editor. Tip number 1 is read aloud for flow. So I do this one a lot. I do it for shorter pieces, but I've also done it for longer pieces. And what happens is you're reading your content and you come across a sentence that you just can't get out of your mouth. That's a sentence that needs to be edited. If you can't say what you've written, it's probably too complex and you don't need to be writing it. So there you go. Tip number 2, backward editing, primarily for spelling and grammar. I know a lot of professional writers that do this one. And basically, the title of this today's podcast is 5 techniques for effective editing. If I was to be editing using this backwards flow, I'd be self-editing. Okay, that's right. Effective. Yeah, okay. 4 techniques. 5. So yes, you are kind of doing an impression of Yoda while you're self-editing. But that's good because you're gonna catch words that don't make sense, are spelled wrong, and sometimes as you're reading it backwards, you're like, "Wait a minute, this flow is wrong." And then you can read it forward and figure it out. So that's another one. Step number 3 is echo words. So there are times when you want to echo a word purposefully. And then there are times when you echo a word because you just couldn't think of another word. It's that latter one that you want to edit. So, what is an echo word? An echo word is when you use the same word over and over closely together. Now, sometimes you're going to do this because there are no synonyms. I get it. I wrote an entire book on public speaking. There's only so many ways you can be talking about public speaking. There are no other terms. And you're not gonna say, "I'm locuting." It's like, no, it's speaking. That's what it's called, and so I had no choice but to have echo words all over the place because that's what the book was about. But most of the time, that's not the case. You can use other words to mean the same thing and therefore make it read better. Now, don't go around using thesaurus.coms to come up with words no one's ever heard of. You wanna use common, strongly used words that people understand, but you just don't wanna be you want when you repeat yourself, when you echo yourself, you wanna do it strategically and purposefully. Tip number 4, and this is called the fresh eyes approach. I use this one a lot. This one because here's the thing, when you are deep in your writing and then you go back to edit it immediately, you're gonna see what you intended to put there, not necessarily what you actually put there. But if you set your manuscript aside for a minimum of 1 day, better a week, better a month, and then come back to it, you'll especially if you've interacted with some other copy in between, you're gonna come to it with fresh eyes and not always see what you intended to be there, but what you actually put there. And it's hilarious sometimes you'll, like, be reading your copy and you're like, "I could have sworn I said this thing, but it's not here. It's just not here." That's what fresh eyes can do for you. And tip number 5, this one helps you create a tighter copy that is more on point. And this tip is where you for every point, every piece of content within your book that is trying to have a specific message or point to it, ask, "So what?" And what you wanna do is get down to the "so what" where there is no more "so what." You've gotten to the final "what." And what this does is it strengthens your copy because now you're really getting to the heart of the matter, the core, the je ne sais quoi. I don't even know if I used that correctly, but you're getting to really what the essential bit of information is. So, there are your 5 tips. Read aloud, read backwards, wait some time, a week to a month would be better, but at least 24 hours before reading again to give yourself a fresh set of eyes. Look for echo words, and I got those 2 reversed, but that's okay. And ask yourself, "So what?" So what? So there you are, 5 tips for self-editing. This is the end of today's episode of Coffee with Karma, hopefully with sound, and I will see you tomorrow when I will be talking about crafting a compelling author bio. This is Karma Spence, who helps entrepreneurs write a lead attracting book in 90 days or less, saying ciao for now.